In artificial idiocy, we usually talk about general gaming topics, you know, but in this episode, atobe-sama and I, Kwanstein, just ended up talking about Motorstorm Pacific Rift, and we ended up just talking about it so much that I thought it was a good idea to just make this into an episode as well. So here's what we thought and what we talked about in regards to Motorstorm.
Yeah, it's nice. I guess it's nice having it in Motorstorm. It's such a
Oh, that
crazy
was
game.
great.
That can be the best, really. Just just throw anyone in on that game and like see how long they can go without crashing. The
So
crash will
hard.
always be like so spectacular. So there's just anyone can enjoy that game. It's
Yeah,
great.
I had a lot of fun with at two of my two. It was 3-player matches on the Order Storm Pacific Rift. It was just really fun. Cause I at one time tricked my friend into thinking that I was gonna, cause I was choosing the enemy vehicles. So I was like, okay, pick a
Hmm.
bike. But then I picked every enemy vehicle as big monster trucks, and I picked a monster truck for myself. He was screwed that round.
Oh, there's a race like that though in the campaign. They'll make crazy situations like that. So yes, there is one where you're on a bike against an army of monster trucks. I have pictures where just in the beginning of the race, and I was just like, all the monster trucks literally drove over me.
It's so hard
Like,
like that. You can't do anything. You
right.
try to
You
dodge
gotta
the
just stay
terrain, and you
away.
end up inside the monster truck, destroyed.
Yeah, you end up just under it, and they make the bikes really fragile now. So it's like you cannot bump into someone
Yeah,
without blowing up.
any little thing will kill you. It's just
So
so
it's
true.
nice to know. Whereas like in the original Motorstorm, I was once driving a big rig and like I guess I was kind of like skidding a little off balance, and a bike bumps into me and I flipped over.
What? That
The
I
bike had
never had to
actually
happen.
run. It had been under the truck. So like for a second, the truck is riding on top of the bike and then flips over. Bike keeps going.
Whoa. I think I had
Then
a
they fixed it later with the second one. The vehicle interaction with the different types is just really good. You really get a sense of like weight and like how well your car is going to stand up against the other ones.
I don't know, the original was pretty good to me too. I never had a bike freaking destroying a truck. That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
but the bikes did feel really powerful.
They were better. They did handle better against other vehicles than the second one where the bike can't touch anything.
Yeah. No, they really had a good idea with how to balance it further where instead of the car being the best on every track just because it's the fastest, so all you have to do is be able to control it. It's not easy, but if you can control it, it's the fastest. So it was always the best. But now with the new tracks, they have water and everything. So
Yeah,
the like big cars, the trucks are the best for that because they can use the water, take advantage of it to like boost the whole track.
yeah. But the tracks, like, first time I played it, the tracks were way too complicated. I got lost so many times. I was like, where
They
am I even
are. There's
going?
so there's so much to learn. Yeah,
It's like
that's great. The
I see a bunch of
competition,
trees and I don't know where I'm going, and I
the
can't.
online is so fierce. Yes. No, the forest. The forest. You will get lost in the forest. Yeah.
It's nuts. And the signs are confusing too. Like, you know, those vehicle signs, like bikes here or monster trucks here, whatever. They don't help. You have to
There
memorize.
aren't really there aren't really such signs. Even the signs that have arrows, like turn this way, that still doesn't help.
No,
There's so many different places to turn.
yeah, it gets really crazy. Oh man. And then playing in split screen on a small TV makes it worse because you can't see what's going on.
You can't play like that, but it sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. Man, it's a great game to play with other people.
The game really is out of control. Man, if you could just come over here, you could you play it on because I reached the highest level on there, so I'm playing all the best people, and you can't imagine like what it is, just how intense this competition is. Everyone's doing everything perfectly, and No, you got to build up through the ranks in there. Like every time you go up a new rank, you get with new people, and now you might have been dominating before, but now they're taking paths you never even thought
Yeah.
of, and like using entirely different vehicles and going different ways, and you're left behind again.
So you
It's a
gotta
great
relearn
game.
everything over and over until you.
Yeah, it's a great game to think like, okay, at first, your instincts don't work in this one. No, watch the experts, like
Yeah, what I
learn where
love
to
is
go.
like the actual mechanics are really simple, but then like actually getting better at the game like actually requires real strategy and like it's pretty complex to
Yes, I
get down
love it
to.
because it's not a Gran Turismo. There's not some guy who like is an expert at cars and tweaks every like little setting on there to make his car like super, gives it handling that's like beyond unrealistic even when
Yeah.
the game's supposed to be very, it's a simulation and all. But
And
yes,
it's not like
Motorstorm,
well
it's
I
like
found it
different
wasn't
types of
like
vehicles.
completely skill based so that cuz it's you make a mistake you can still get by later on in Motorstorm at least because
Yes, I like that. It has
yeah,
more of a
that's really
it
cool.
has a more burnout feel to it. I call it burnout off road. It's boosting all the time, crashing, but then you can come back.
Mhm. Yeah, it's great.
That's a big thing that turns people off from racers often, is that you make one mistake, you crash, okay, you're out of the race. But
Yeah,
in
pretty
a
much.
burnout type arcade racer, you can recover.
Yeah, it's awesome. And usually in like racing games, rubber band AI is not a good thing, but like in Motorstorm, that's what makes it awesome.
Yeah, it's all about, in this game, it's no fun being way out in front. You wanna be constantly right in there battling with everyone.
Yeah, uh,
It's a game
great.
where you're not even trying to win. You're just trying to bash
Bad.
everyone else. You'll see people like that, driving the big rig when
Oh, I
everyone
hate
else is on a
those.
bike.
I hate those like high level events against computers. It's ridiculous. They don't even want to race. They just want to crash into you. Like I remember the original game.
That is what they do.
Yeah, a big rig is driving in front of me, and so I'm trying to make this corner, but the big rig purposefully crashes in front of me and stops right in front of me. It's like, what the heck? You're supposed to
Yeah, no,
race.
it was terrible AI design, really, but at least the online was great.
Yeah, it made it ridiculously hard. I gave up after like, I don't know, after a certain point, I'm like, I'm not playing this anymore on computer AI. They're not
It
racing,
was.
they're just killing me.
I got through it somehow, but not in the sequel. I mean, it just gets too annoying.
The sequel was pretty, like, it's the same thing, but it's so much fun that way, for
It's a
some
lot
reason.
more, and I mean, you had all the, since you had so many more tracks, it
Yeah,
seemed like a lot more.
yeah, the tracks are great. Like, I thought 8 tracks in the first game was, like, enough, because, the track design
It
was
really,
really
it really
detailed.
was.
Yeah, but then you got 16 tracks in the sequel, and it's, like, almost overwhelming. Well, it is overwhelming.
Yes, for the first like couple weeks, I had a list sitting next to me of all the tracks, and I was trying to like figure out which vehicle to use on each one. So I kept crossing out and like writing the new ones. And when I started the race, I'd look at the track and have no idea which one that was. So I'd have to consult the list and think, okay, what am I going to use here?
Yeah, yeah. You learn as you
That
go,
was
though.
far too much.
It is. But then like a few months after Pacific Rim, I saw a trailer. It's like new track pack coming soon. I'm like, is that necessary?
It's true. They just released 6 new tracks.
What the
I
heck?
don't need I don't need to get them. Who needs that much more?
It's like the game is fine by itself. God, just work on the next Motorstorm.
Yeah. Well, really, the extra tracks they added to the first one really just weren't as good.
I didn't get
So,
the extra
I'm
pack.
not making that mistake again.
They looked cool in the trailers. I don't know.
All right, they have videos of them. I don't know. They always look cool, but then they turn out to be much smaller and shorter or something, and just not as interesting.
And another one was like it was dumb. They had a reverse pattern course of a track that was already in the original game. So it's just a reverse. And then they're like, oh, but we made it so that everything is totally different. and so it's like a new
Yeah.
experience. And
Well, we
like,
are talking off-road here. If they had a mirror option, it would completely change everything.
yeah, that's what they did for one of the tracks. I think it was like the what was the track name? I don't remember, but one of the tracks they reversed it and then had it as a downloadable content pack.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sold on that at all.